James 5 1 through 8. Come now, you rich, weep and howl for your miseries they that are coming unto you. What it's saying is they treasured their money so much, and he's referring to that. He's saying, what is it? You're going to regret not being generous. You're going to regret not giving to the Lord. You're going to regret all this. One day you're going to cry out and wish you gave more and wish you did more because your heart isn't where it needs to be. Our hearts are never where they need to be. But are we trying to be? Oftentimes we're not. Okay. Verse 2. Your riches are corrupted. What he's saying is you think your blessings from God. It's not. It's out of your sinful desires not to give. And your garments are moth-eaten. Again, this wasn't happened, but he's more making a reference to what would. You think your garments are so good, but they're not, is what he's saying. They're moth-eaten. Because what matters is what the Lord's given you, what you give back to the Lord. But when you stand before the Lord in your robes, you got nothing. Is what he's saying. What type of robe are we going to wear? That's what it implies. Okay. Verse 3. Your gold and your silver are corroded, and the corrosion will be for a testimony against you, and you will eat your flesh like fire. This is James, ain't it? Yeah. He's very harsh here. He's saying your silver and gold will be corroded. But what will you have to show for God? Your testimony. You're neglecting the poor for all this gold and wealth, which isn't anything. Their souls, their helping hand, showing love matters much more, is what he's saying. He's saying you'll be judged for this. You have laid up your treasure in the last days. They're laying up their treasure on earth, not in heaven. James is pointing that out. Where are we laying up our treasures? What we need to ask ourselves. It's one thing being financially secure. It's another being financially secure, being over and abundant and neglecting. They were over and abundant, neglecting the poor. Is what I believe they were doing. And James points that out. He's saying you got so much, but you're not even willing to help. Where's your love at? Show me you have Christ. Verse 4. Behold the wages of the laborers who mowed your fields, which you have kept back by fraud, cry out in cries. For those who reaped have entered into the ears of the Lord of armies. So they're earning their money by unfair gain, is what he's saying. He's saying you haven't paid the people who work for you the way you're supposed to. So not only are they not helping the poor, they're causing people to be poor. You have lived delicately on earth and taken your pleasure. You have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. So they're choosing to be prosperous over being fruitful. They're choosing to bear their fruit on earth rather than lay up heavenly fruit. They're choosing to find pleasure here than find pleasure in the Lord. This is an area we don't want ourselves to go in. And James is saying, hey, you don't need to be in that. Judgment will come for that. Are you truly His? can you truly be His if you're living like this? I don't want to have to know. Because I don't want to be like this. Verse 6. You have condemned, you have murdered the righteous one. Now, what this is a reference to isn't clear. This could be a reference to how the Jews reacted. This could be a reference to them actually murdering somebody who was standing for the Lord. He doesn't resist you. But most likely it's a reference to how the Jewish people killed Jesus. Now, the Jewish people in the church, and James is saying, your attitude's same as theirs. Same attitude theirs was. Verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. Behold, the farmer waits for precious fruit of the earth, being patient over it until it receives the early and late rain. You also be patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand. So what he's saying here is that the Lord ain't going to come back until the harvest has come. Which means Jesus is going to wait till the last believer comes to him before he returns. We're to make ready. We're to share the word. We're to bring as many people we can to Jesus so this time comes. Our job is to share the word. Plant the seed. Throw the seed. And when the harvest is ready, when the last believer comes, he'll come and take us away. He'll come and do judgment. We're to proclaim His name.